Righto, g'day, Mork's back here. If you saw my last video about saws, talked about how saws are really important, really useful if you want to reduce your calorie expenditure when processing wood, particularly firewood. That was about these folding saws. And you can put longer blades on these, or quite inexpensive. Very good. However, if you're expecting to be going out longer and you want to process large quantities of firewood, large pieces of firewood, and you want to make things like shelters, bridges, fences to keep your children or your livestock secure, you're going to want something bigger than that. Standard thing is a bowsaw. I have saw blades here, 21-inch bowsaw, designed for cutting living or green wood with large open teeth to prevent the saw from jamming. Large teeth for faster cutting, cuts on forward and reverse stroke, and long life hard point blade. These are just in a cardboard cover. Being good steel, they will rust readily. Bit of a rule, the better the steel in general, the more likely it is to rust. The thing with bow saws, the actual frame is quite bulky and heavy. So you don't necessarily always want to have a complete bow saw on you. Another important thing with a thin saw blade like this, you don't want it to bend. So I will address that, rust prevention, and how to carry that so that it doesn't bend. It's just a cardboard cover, so if you carry this, it will get wet, and we know how rough outdoor life is on things. I have several here, and I'll show a couple of carry solutions, but as far as constructing a saw, I'll do that in the next video. So I do two tips you can construct a saw for this in the bush. First thing I want to do is get it back out of its cover. So oil, any oil will do. This is ballistol, it's a German firearms and lots of other things, leatherwork, woodwork, oil. So I'll just give that a spray. Smear the oil all over. Stick it back in the cardboard. The cardboard will absorb a fair bit of the oil. Grease might be a better idea. It will all still eventually get soaked into the cardboard. Weatherproof covering for it. I feel like I'm insulting people's intelligence here. It's a lot quicker to encounter the idea and copy it than to come up with it from scratch and reinvent the wheel. That'll keep the rain off it. Do the same thing with another one. Some people are more concerned about their visual signature than others, so that's quite bright. Green gaffer tape will do the job just as well, and there are camouflage types of duct tape out there as well, which I have, but they're quite a bit more expensive and I'm not going to waste it on about an $8 saw blade. At least not today. Fold over the end, fold in the sides, we'll go over it again with another pass. Okay, we have 2 saw blades properly wrapped up and ready to stow. So these are a long item which is subject to being bent. We want to keep it straight. If you're going to be going to the trouble of carrying a saw blade, you're probably also going to have an axe. This is a very small axe, but it's longer than the saw blade. No rocket science here, a couple of rubber bands. Like that. Anywhere the axe goes, that saw blade goes, it's there when I need it. It's a couple of seconds to remove the saw blade to construct the saw and cut bulk wood. It is longer than my machete. There are big machetes, but yeah, it will be subject to bending. However, we have other solutions. Okay, we have an internal frame backpack here. This is Australian Army surplus. Internal frame, people do tend to bend these a little to suit their back, which works great. However, quite straightforward. Pass that through, you barely know it's there. It's not ideal, there is still some pressure to it getting bent. You can also do it down the side of the pack through the multitude of straps. However, the design of this pack is excellent in that it's 2 compartment, bottom compartment for your sleeping gear, thereby forcing you to put the lighter stuff down the bottom and the heavier stuff at the top. There is a separator inside, but it can be zipped out because military people don't just carry their camping gear, they carry job stuff as well. They might be carrying sledgehammers, jackhammers, all sorts of wiring tools, radio communications equipment, and other things which are just plain long. So we can zip that out of the way. When we do that, we have the full length of the entire backpack, which we can slide. That's hitting the divider right now. Undo the zip a little, or if you just want to unpick a little bit of that divider, enough to fit your saw blade, you're all set. One way to protect your saw blades from rust, and also to ensure that they're carried, I like the axe best so that they don't get bent. Sometime down the track I'll actually construct 2 saws and cut some wood for you so that you can see all that in use. Thanks for your time and your attention, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Cheers.